Welcome into Philadelphia 76ers Now right here on Chat Sports. I am your host, Chase Sr. I hope all of the great people in the great city of brotherly love are having a great week. And if you want the best Sixers news and rumors right here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button down below. We're a little more than 200 subscribers away from 2,000. Coming up on today's show, Joel Embiid has come to the defense of Ben Simmons. He did it via social media. We're going to take a look and examine and basically look at the context of all of his tweets. Plus, David Aldridge has some new, fresh reporting on the Ben Simmons trade rumors, so let's get into it. Joel Embiid taking to Twitter to defend Ben Simmons. Somewhat of a surprise because it's been said the relationship hasn't always been the best. I know that Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons have refuted that. And I think there's some reality behind it. I think they get along a little bit better than what people think. But now with all of these Ben Simmons trade rumors circulating throughout the NBA stratosphere, Embiid had to chime in and defend his teammate against some of the media rumors that have come out. He first started with this tweet saying, "Sources, trust me, bro. Stop using my name to push people's agendas. I love and hate drama. I love playing with Ben Simmons. Stats don't lie. He's an amazing player, and we all didn't get the job done. It's on me personally. I hope everyone on the team is back because we know we're good enough to win." Don't think everybody is going to be back because I don't think that relationship between Simmons and the team can be salvaged. Embiid then tweeted this. "I haven't forgotten, from my own experience, y'all have no idea how much this media makes up stuff for followers, and shame on you for believing them." We'll get into that here in just a second. Embiid then put this out on his Twitter page. And he's always a really good troll, but he also likes to keep it a buck and keep it 100. "I haven't forgotten, but 2 years ago, I got booed. People in Philly wanted me to be traded. I even shushed them. Only the real ones didn't boo me, but I just put in the work that offseason to be better because I knew I wasn't playing up to my potential. Philly fans, y'all also got to be better." Some Philly fans triggered by that. We'll cover it. "For clarity, I love the criticism," Embiid continued to say. "I love when I'm told I can't do something. It makes me work harder to prove everyone wrong, but not everyone is built like that." Let's again mention the word context because context is important here, and let's dissect what Embiid had to say. There is no question that, especially in NBA media, agents throw out bait to the media all the time, because it all comes down to leverage for their own clients. And a lot of media members out there take that bait like a shark in chummy waters, and they throw out a bunch of propaganda oftentimes to fit their narrative and to fit what they want to talk about. I've been in the media game for a long time, used to work for a local news station covering news. I understand how this process works. Now here on Sixers Now, we talk about a lot of these things because this is a news and rumors channel, and we do our duty of bringing you the latest Sixers news and rumors. But we also refute and shoot down a lot of these crazy media reports that often come out about players across the NBA in certain trade situations. There's also this. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are different because Ben Simmons has never put the work in to improve or expand his offensive game. And that's a big reason why there have been so many playoff shortcomings for the Philadelphia 76ers as an organization, but that's also why the Sixers have flamed out because of the shortcomings of Ben Simmons and him being a liability late in games on the offensive end of the floor. When Philadelphia fans booed Embiid because he wasn't playing up to their expectations or to his potential, what did he do? He responded to that criticism, put in the work that offseason to get into better shape, to improve his game. And what did he do last year? If it wasn't for that ankle injury against the Washington Wizards, I think it's Embiid, not the Joker, who wins the MVP award. Embiid put in the work to have an MVP caliber season. What has Ben Simmons done? He has neglected to work on his weaknesses and his flaws, and that's why since his rookie year coming out of LSU, he has never gotten better as an offensive player, and his offensive game has flatlined. Has he become one of, if not the best defenders in the NBA? Yes, but the great players focus in on their weaknesses. They improve them because they understand that will allow them to take their game to the next level, which then in turn helps the team. Ben Simmons has never done that. As for the fans have supported Simmons ever since he got drafted number 1 out of LSU. The big reason why they become so frustrated with Simmons and why a lot of fans don't want to see him continue his career in Philadelphia is because they become frustrated with the player that Simmons has not become. Yet they see greatness within Ben. They see that he has the potential to be a superstar. But once again, he has not worked on the deficiencies in his game to take that next step, and because of that, the Sixers as an organization have failed to reach expectations and haven't made it out of the second round of the playoffs. So the fans have supported Ben Simmons. They're just tired of him flatlining and coming up short and choking in big games. That's the reality, and at the end of the day, what does fans stand for? Fanatic. And Philadelphia fans are fanatics. I like to point to this example for Simmons and the lack of growth. You look at Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Milwaukee Bucks. You look at Jaylen Brown. When Giannis was coming out of France, identified as an NBA draft prospect, he was so raw. He could barely dribble a basketball. He could not shoot. He was just really long, really athletic, and had a bunch of upside. The same, on a different degree, could be said about Jaylen Brown. Coming out of California, he was looked at as an elite 3-and-D prospect who had a lot of potential because of his physical gifts. You fast forward from when they got drafted up until now, Giannis is a generational all-time player. He's won multiple MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, an NBA Finals MVP, and an NBA championship. The only player to do that, aside from Giannis, Michael Jordan. And his 50-point game when he went bonkers in Game 6 of the NBA Finals was a sign of his growth because he's knocking down free throws in big spots. He, unlike Ben Simmons, has developed, worked, and tinkered with his game to become an all-around player with little weaknesses. The same can be said for Jaylen Brown. He was almost a 40-45% three-point shooter last year and averaged around 25 points per game. Simmons has failed to take those steps that Giannis and Jaylen Brown have taken. And this is one of my biggest issues with Simmons, and this is why fans are fired up. Ben Simmons has accountability issues. It's on Ben Simmons that he hasn't improved. It's on Ben Simmons that his offensive game has regressed since his rookie year. It's on Ben Simmons that he neglects, is allergic to at least developing a corner three, an elbow jumper, or a baseline jumper to just a competent level. That's what people are asking for. Just a competent jump shot. Simmons has never developed that at all, and he hasn't taken accountability for his shortcomings. And as for what Embiid had to say about not everybody is built for the pressure, I grew up in the Philadelphia area. I've been a Sixers fan since I can remember. I rooted on Allen Iverson when I was 4 years old. I've experienced the highs and lows of this organization as a fan. I understand that the media pressure and the fan pressure in the northeast portion of the United States, not just in Philadelphia, but also Boston and New York, is different. It's a different atmosphere, a different way of life, and fans care about their teams to a much larger degree than other parts in the country. And in Philadelphia, the place can be a pressure cooker. Some players are built for it. Others cannot deal with the rigors of the pressure. You look at Joel Embiid and Bryce Harper. Both of those guys have played at MVP levels. They understand that when they get booed, there's a reason behind it because the fans want to see them improve their games and reach their expectations and their potential. They understand what comes with being an athlete in Philly. Ben Simmons clearly has not. Can 76ers fans be better? I like to throw this out there. You always have to look at it from a 90-10 perspective. For instance, I was in Nashville, Tennessee for the NFL draft back in 2019. My buddies and I, we were rocking Eagles gear. And every time somebody saw us from an opposing team fan base, they would say, "Oh my gosh, are all Eagles fans assholes? We don't even want to talk to you guys and associate with you because the national media has made you guys out to be awful people." And I like to say this, maybe 10% of Philadelphia fans are savages. They're brutal. They make the rest of the fan base look awful. But 90% of the fans oftentimes are actually good people. So can Sixers fans be better? There's no question about that. But in my opinion, their frustrations are understandable because of Ben Simmons' trajectory and the lack thereof of him going from being a good player to a great player and he has all of the ability in the world to be a great player. He just hasn't tapped into that. So Sixers fans, as I mention all of that and dissect what Embiid said and share some of my own opinions, do you agree with what Embiid had to say? Type A for agree, type D for disagree. Get those votes in and sound off in the comment section. Luckily, we're about a week and a half away from Philadelphia Eagles football kicking off week 1 to kick off the NFL season against the Atlanta Hawks. Eagles are going down to Atlanta as 3.5-point favorites. The over-under for that game set at 48. I'm really fascinated to see how Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni fare in their first game together as a quarterback-head coach combo. 3.5-point underdogs? Do you like that if you're Philly? This is a city that loves the underdog role. And if you want to lay down some money on that game between the Eagles and the Falcons, you can do so thanks to our sportsbook partner, BetUS. If you use that link at the bottom of your screen, chatsports.com/EaglesBet, as well as that promo code EAGLES125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. What that means is when you put $100 in your account, for an example, you get $125 back, equaling $225 to wager with. I'm telling you right now, there's not a sports book in the world that is offering you that deal to that magnitude. But here's the deal. Got to use the link at the bottom of your screen, as well as that promo code for that deal to apply. Lastly, let's hit on some recent reporting from David Aldridge on Ben Simmons. He said this: I wrote the first week of August that Daryl Morey's been asking for at least 4 first-round picks, either outright or through swaps and a package for Simmons. I can only assume that he hasn't gotten anyone to butt yet on that asking price, and Simmons' public demand to be dealt before camp certainly doesn't help Philly's leverage. Aldridge is right. It doesn't. Philly's leverage, not what it once was. Still, whatever Simmons' faults are, Aldridge continued, he's just not an all-star. He's an elite-level passer and a defender on top of that. And he's 6'10", and he's 25. He's under contract. You don't find that combination very often. Yes, he has significant shooting issues, both outside the paint and at the foul line. But if there's one weakness that can and has been improved throughout consistent work, it's shooting. But what have we talked a lot about on today's show? It's the lack of work that Simmons has put in to his shooting stroke. He can post as much as he wants on social media during his off-season workouts, him playing pickup, taking jump shots. But as soon as I see that translate, or as long as I don't see that translate to the actual floor, I'm not buying into the hype. Now, a lot has been made about Ben Simmons' value. It isn't astronomically low. It's higher than what a lot of people think. I don't think that Ben Simmons' value is shot. And while Philadelphia doesn't have their leverage with the Ben Simmons trade talks that they once had when Simmons was almost put in a deal for James Harden, in my opinion, Simmons, because of all the things that he does well, elite defensive player, positional versatility, passing, him working on his flaws to possibly be great, you can get an all-star player back for Ben Simmons. Is it going to be a Harden-like player? Probably not. Is it maybe going to be a De'Aaron Fox, CJ McCollum, Colin Sexton type of player? Potentially. And for Philadelphia, at this point, I don't think it's terrible value. So do you think the Sixers can get an all-star back for Ben Simmons? That's the final question I'm asking for you before I head out of here. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Once again, chime in the comment section. And also, hit that red subscribe button down below. We launched this channel about 6 weeks ago. We're the fastest growing Sixers channel right here on YouTube. Be a part of the family, the great city of brotherly love. Help me out. Support a Philly guy. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that red subscribe button down below. Or go to youtube.com/76ers TV.